Hey everyone, welcome back to Caesar's Freedomstead. Today I want to go ahead and make a video to show everyone out there all the easy ways to get your seeds started for this year's growing season. Now when we first got started with growing, we just really didn't know what to do, so we just threw some seeds in a pot and we grew them, and you know, thankfully they succeeded and grew really large, and we got lots of fruits and vegetables. But over the years we've learned a bunch of different ways to grow our seeds, and I think it's great to have a few different ways of growing your seeds depending on time frame and how much you actually want to grow. So I'm going to go through those things with you today. All right, first on the list here is the seedling starter trays. So as you can see here, we have seedling starter trays all throughout here and across here. So I wanted to start with these because these are kind of the go-to for us nowadays. You're not planting a whole lot in one tray, but you are able to plant a variety of things at once. And the trays are just a bit deep, so you can leave them in here for a little bit longer than something that's a bit smaller than this. But this is what we've been using primarily this year. This is not the only thing we use, but let's go over the pros and cons here. So as you can see, right here we got some morning glories in this one. So these ones are flowers. And so these right here are getting really close to the time to come out. But the good thing about these is that we didn't have to remove them right away and get them into a larger container or into the ground. They could stay in there a little bit long because down here it's about a 2.5–3 inches deep. And so those roots do have a little bit of time to establish themselves and not actually become root bound before you could transfer them over. But you know, if you want to plant fruits, vegetables, flowers, or whatsoever that are in a moderate quantity, not a whole bunch at once, if you're just kind of planting for yourself and your family, these are perfect. So there's 6 in each, and sometimes I even put 3 of one variety and 3 of another variety, you know. These flowers right here, these are all uniform. Each tray is for a specific flower. Right here we have hollyhocks and the morning glory. These are carnation. So there's a bunch of different varieties here, but over here we have it again. So like I said before, sometimes I take 3 and 3. So right here I have 2 different plants here. So on this side we have the bush beans, and they're getting pretty big, so I'm going to be taking them out pretty soon and transferring them into a big container to have them grow up a fence. And on this side we got some peas. So you can see those peas on the side there. So these are great starting containers, these seedling planter trays. You know, if you're just going to grow for your family. And on this side, got some corn, and I got some Roma tomatoes. Right here, some eggplant varieties. And we have some varieties here just starting to come out. I believe these are eggplant as well. Yeah, white eggplant and some black mood eggplant. And over here we have some arugula coming, and some that hasn't come out yet over here. So this is perfect. When these are ready to go, you know, over time you'll learn how long they're actually going to stay in there before you bring them out. But when they get about 2 or 3 inches tall, you want to take them out and transfer them over to something else. Like I said, these beans right here, we're going to go ahead and transfer these out probably in about a day or 2. Because they're about ready. So these are the seedling planter trays. These are perfect for just planting the right amount for you and your family, and it gives you a little extra time before you have to, hurry up and race and get into a big container. So it gives you a little bit of time. All right, next, these I really like to use as well. These right here are just planting cups. Now these are, Bonnie plants, that has nothing to do with my channel. In the past we bought some when we first started getting into, growing our food type of thing. We would buy those, and so we just kept them because we use them every year. And so these are great for if you're super busy and you don't have a lot of time to deal with the planting. You can go ahead and put your seeds in here, and they'll stay in there for quite a while. But as you can see, these right here, these are ready to go. that's a good indicator right there that these are ready to be transferred into a big container if you're container growing, or to put in the ground. Roots coming out the bottom, this is ready to be transferred. I'm going to transfer that probably today. These are eggplants right here, some more lettuce, and peppers. This is a bell pepper over here, and this right here is a bell pepper. Over here I got a little seedling start of jalapeno peppers. So these ones just started. And so you can see it's a little cup variety here of planters. Like I said, these compared to the trays, obviously you can only do like 1 or 2 in here at once, but it does give you a lot of extra time to get ready for it, or if you just got a busy work schedule, or you just don't like being outside every day to get this done. Give you some extra time because they have a lot more growing space in there. So I do these as well, but I do this for the varieties that I'm not actually going to grow a whole lot of. Maybe like 3 or 4 plants maximum. I'll put them in these cups and have them single, and then I'll just transfer them over. I do this a lot with the bigger tomato varieties. So these are for when you're not really planting as much and you want to go ahead and transfer them over and give yourself a little bit of extra time. Okay, something great to use here that we actually started doing these when we first got into planting is using your egg cartons. So what's good about egg cartons? Well, if you want to plant a whole lot at one time, use these. I like these fold out ones because you can actually cut this portion off here, put holes in it, and stick it on the bottom. So it can kind of be a drainage area for your planting slots here. And so you can actually get 24 plants out of this. Now they're going to be obviously really small. You could plant a whole lot at one time. But when they get about maybe an inch tall, you got to hurry up and get them out of here, or they'll become root bound. They'll kind of just become stagnant. So these are good for when you're planting a whole lot of stuff at once, and it's free. You don't have to pay for these except for when you buy eggs. I guess you pay for it there. But other than getting the carton of eggs, you don't pay for anything. So you could plant 24 items in here, let them grow about an inch, get out here and transfer them all. Or if you're going to plant them in the ground, you have your seed starter, you have your seeds started, and you can go ahead and plant them in your garden rows or whatever you're trying to do. But these are great for planting a whole lot at one time that isn't going to cost you anything extra. We did these a lot from the beginning. We'd plant so many different things. Tons of tomatoes, tons of peppers, tons of everything. And we'd get them into the containers or into the ground, and these work awesome. So definitely try the egg cartons. We're not doing this year because I'm just not planting a whole lot this year. We're just going to be doing trays and such. But these are a great option when you have everything ready to go and you want to plant a whole bunch at one time. Highly recommend doing egg cartons. Hey, before we move on, if you like this content, if you want to see more of this, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. We are trying to grow this channel, so go ahead and subscribe. These soil block makers, these things are cool. I really like them. Now they're good if you want to, pretty much just make your own soil blocks and have a container or a box or somewhere that you're going to put them into. I made some over here. Obviously they're not perfect, but they're good enough. So what it does is you get the dirt inside here. It's kind of like making a sand castle. You want to pack it in there, and when you press this lever here, it's going to squish it out, and it's actually going to make little holes in the dirt so that you can put your seed in that area. And so as you can see really closely here, it made the little divot there, the little hole, and you can just put your seed in there. So you have your little blocks, and it just makes it for you. You don't have to get your fingers dirty. This is just another way of doing it. These are really fun to make. So if you have like a big container or a box or something that you just want to put a whole bunch of these soil blocks into, just get some dirt, pack it in here. It's like making a sandcastle, like I said, and it pretty much prepares it for you. And just dump your seed in there, close it up a bit, and you're done. You're ready to go. And these right here, these are about 2.5 inches, 2.5 inches high and thick. So they are pretty pretty sizable for planting seeds, and so they can stay in there for quite a while, a few weeks actually, before you have to put them in the ground. What is it, Pepper? What's wrong, girl? You okay? You doing okay? You hear something? Yeah, that's my good girl. So yeah, definitely use these. These soil block makers are really handy, and I'll be using this quite a bit this year as well. So I'm actually going to plant some things inside of these 4 blocks here and get them ready for a couple weeks from now to go into a big container. These are cool. Now this video wouldn't be complete unless I kind of showed you the sort of final result here, or close to final result. I am doing all container growing this year. Me and Marina are not going to be planting in the ground this year because we are somewhere different. I'll make a video on that. But we are not where we used to live. So we are going to be planting inside of containers all this year. So these right here are tomatoes that were grown inside of the little trays. And I had a couple tomatoes that came from the cups as well. And I transferred them into these big containers here. And so I always find it really good on time to go ahead and just put your tomato cages on when your tomatoes are transferred into the big containers. This is where they're going to stay, you know, so they're just going to grow upward and they'll be good to go. So these right here, I don't have to touch anymore. So these will stay in their containers. These are all tomatoes right here, all going to stay in their final homes. I may possibly transfer them into a very large container, depending on you know, circumstances. We'll see. You know, when you're doing container gardening, if you don't have your own compost, you do have to purchase a lot of dirt. So remember that you know, container planting is going to cost you a little bit extra money if you don't make your own compost. Right here, same thing. These right here are some Aswata eggplants. So these right here are the eggplants. Transfer in some big containers. These I probably will put into a much bigger container later on. Again, more eggplants, more eggplants. We love eggplants. Check out my video on how to grow eggplants in containers. We grow a lot of them. Right here is another bell pepper. There's another tomato. So these are all final products. Here is a lettuce. I have a lettuce all by itself, but I actually, inside of this long planter here, here's another idea for you. These long planters, you can plant a whole bunch of seeds at once that are fruits and vegetables that do not require a lot of root space. Like lettuce does not require a lot of root space, and it does not require a lot of space in between each other either. So you can grow a whole lot of lettuce in one place. Same with cilantro and basil and parsley. All your different herbs can be done in these as well. So we've grown tons of basil in these as well. So I planted a bunch of lettuce in here, so we're going to have that teeming with lettuce just like this. I just planted one lettuce earlier about a month ago, and I just transferred it over here just for fun. So and here's everything else. So we got everything here, the corn, beans, everything like that. So these are going to go in next. Well, thank you guys so much for watching this video here. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was educational to you and helped you out a bit in getting your seeds started. Get them in the containers, water them with rainwater. A lot of people say, well, I plant things that just keep dying. Use rainwater. Try not to use the water from your hose. There's some things in there that may kill your plants. So use rainwater. I catch it in a bucket and put it in some rain barrels behind me there. So definitely, thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.